Have you ever concerned what the world will look like the next century or even the next decade? Do you even care? Every year it seems like there's more ongoing wildfires, more storms that bring in flooding not only in our coastal areas but our non-coastal areas as well. So I guess if you sit back and thought about it for a minute, it would be kind of hard to see what the world is going to look like. But because you and I are both aware and are concerned with what the effects of global warming is having on our atmosphere, then we should all be inclined to do our part, not only to save our planet for ourselves, but for future generations that are going to come along after us. So after some extensive research, I would like to share a few items with y'all that I feel we can make in our daily lives and in our homes that will not only help our environment, but things we can continue to ingrain into our young youth, to our young ones, that hopefully then they can take with them to live a more environmentally free life, or environmentally friendly. But first we need to stop debating if global warming is a thing. And we as humans need to start making better choices within our daily lives to assist in reducing the gases that we create within our landfills, which aid in the rise of the greenhouse gases, which over time has caused havoc to our environment. So I have a little thing that I read on globalchange.gov that states that the climate change is already affecting human health and the well-being through extreme weather events such as wildfires. It's decreasing our air quality, and diseases are being transmitted by insects, food, and water. So it is an important time now to start making the small changes we haven't already, because if we don't, then the only thing that we have to look forward to are more wildfires due to droughts, more flooding due to the storms that are not only getting bigger, but are leaving more devastation and destruction along their paths. So these changes are not only going to affect us as humans, but our animals and our ecosystems as well. So with all the gases that affect our atmosphere, the one that I want to pinpoint today is the methane gas, which we create within our landfills. And one of the ways I suggest we reduce that is by reducing our food waste. So according to the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, is that most people don't realize how much food we throw away on a daily basis by either uneaten leftovers or produce waste. About 94% of the food that is tossed that we throw away ends up in the landfills or combustion facilities. That's a lot of gas we're producing in a very short time. So one of the ways I suggest we reduce it is by making smaller meals that don't produce leftovers. Or we have leftovers, then we need to pack them up, share with a coworker or maybe another student as a meal the next day, or freeze it for a meal a week or two down the road. Or instead of buying freezer meals, make meals out of the food that is potentially going to go in the trash. Make a meal out of it, put it in the freezer. Secondly, some small things we can do around our homes to prevent home waste ends up in the landfills. According to the EPA, again, the Environmental Protection Agency, is we learn to compost at home with our leftovers, our grass trimmings, or other organic waste items. If we clean and properly store our outside tools, lawn furniture, or even toys to keep them damage-free instead of ending up into the landfills. And then if we raise the cutting height of our lawnmowers in the hot summer areas, times, then we reduce the water. That will also help the water evaporation and going into the turn off, plug it, unplug. If we're not using it, unplug it. My daughter used to go around the house, unplug everything. We're not using it, it gets unplugged, save electricity. And your lights stay longer. So then your light bulbs aren't going into the landfills. I'm aware it's going to take more than making small meals and protecting our outside tools and furniture to make a huge impact on saving our environment. But we need to start today. We can't just sit back and say, oh, the neighbors are recycling, so we're good. No, it's not the way it works. Coordinasa.gov states that global climate is projected to continue to change over this century and beyond. And the magnitude of climate change beyond the next few decades primarily depends on the amount of heat trapping gases emitted globally and how sensitive the Earth's climate is to those emissions. So it's just going to get worse. And it is a global thing, but again, we're doing our part, what we can do here. Albert Einstein in 1954, we shall need a substantially new way of thinking if humanity is going to survive. Thank you.